Hello and welcome to Spartan Sports Report. I'm Justin Allegri. Great show for you this week as San Jose State football kicks off the 2016 campaign on the road at Tulsa Saturday, September 3rd. We'll talk with San Jose State head coach Ron Caragher previewing that matchup. Plus, our reporter Amy Lanski will give her Week 2 preview of the Mountain West Conference, this week the West Division. Also, we have some highlights for you this week. The women's volleyball team started off 3-0 last weekend. That's right, the San Jose State volleyball team swept and didn't drop a single set over the weekend, taking all 3 matches in the Spartan Invitational. San Jose State defeated Providence on Friday before 2 matches on Saturday, where they downed UMass Lowell and Manhattan. The 3-0 mark was the best overall record of the tournament. Also, it's the first time since 2006 that a Spartan volleyball team has started off the season 3-0. Thelma Gredesdottir was named the Spartan Invitational's MVP. She averaged 3.4 kills and 1.89 digs per set throughout the tournament. Also making the all-tournament team for San Jose State, Summer Avery and Luisa Andrade. The Spartans now will embark on an 11-match road trip starting this Friday against Southern Utah. The Spartan men's soccer team played a wild home opener last weekend against Pacific, a match that was back and forth throughout after Pacific took an early 1-0 lead. The Spartans answered in the 16th minute to tie it up. Pacific's Bob Groendick would give the Tigers the lead once again on a shot that deflected its way into the net. That lead, though, would be short-lived, as 30 seconds later, the Spartans' Rory Nibbs converted to tie it up once more, following a Pacific turnover at midfield. For Nibbs, his 63rd career point, tying him for 4th all-time on the WAC career points list. Moments later, though, Spartan goalkeeper Nendin Takasevic was up to the task, stopping a penalty kick from Pacific and preserving the tie. Spartans would take their only lead on a penalty kick of their own, following a red card that the Tigers were forced to bring in a cold keeper, while Spartan sophomore Andrew Mendoza converted for the 3-2 lead. That would hold for San Jose State. It really was a chippy game throughout. 3 red cards were handed out, including 2 for the Spartans, who had to play shorthanded the last 10 minutes of the match. Spartans held on for the home opener win, though, 3-2. Outside of the wins for the volleyball team this weekend, they joined forces with several other San Jose State student athletes. Over the weekend, they also helped in fellow students moving in to the dorms at San Jose State.
Hey, can we help at all? We're moving hands.
More than 150 San Jose State student athletes took time away from their final weekend before school began to volunteer at the University Housing Services Move-In Day. The San Jose State student athletes came from a variety of sports: women's water polo, women's swimming and diving, baseball, men's and women's soccer, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, gymnastics, and football.
It's fun. You get to meet a lot of new people and ironically find people that are from your area and just really kind of make connections.
Our job is to help the freshmen move in and really advertise for our team and get people to know about us and make it more personal, so people will go to games and be like, oh yeah, like I know this and this, and they helped us move in and just be a good student athlete for the day.
It was a chance to meet new students and make acquaintances, and yes, take some pictures. The student athletes also used the time to make sure the newest fellow Spartans were also aware of the upcoming games and matches.
Go to our games. Go to our games. Yeah.
San Jose State University student athletes have participated in such move-ins with the housing services on campus for almost 10 consecutive years. Time now for a new element to this year's show. Each week we'll have a homegrown Spartan presented by the San Jose Police Department. The homegrown Spartan doesn't necessarily have to be from San Jose, but displays the qualities of a champion both on and off the playing surface. This week's homegrown Spartan is sophomore volleyball player Summer Avery, who averaged over 3 kills per set this weekend on her way to an all-tournament honor. She also helped move in students to the dorms over the weekend as well. For her efforts, she is this week's San Jose Police Department homegrown Spartan. We'll take our first break here on Spartan Sports Report. When we return, Amy Lanski will have the story of the West Division in the Mountain West Conference. That's to come next.
We started with the class-leading RX. We gave it paddle shifters to help you command the road. a sport mode to help you control the road, and a sport-tuned suspension to help you connect with the road. The Lexus RX F-Sport. This is the RX Elevated. See your Northern California Lexus dealer.
Playing high school and college basketball taught me the value of teamwork while learning leadership and problem-solving skills. Sports are an excellent way for kids to prepare for the real world, as well as the importance of staying physically fit. I use these skills every day in my job as an officer with the San Jose Police Department. Being a police officer allows me to use what I have learned while serving my community.
View job opportunities and apply at sjpdu.com. That's sjpdyu.com.
Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report. Amy Lanski last week previewed the Mountain Division of the Mountain West Conference. This week, San Jose State's division gets a chance. It's the West Division preview of the Mountain West Conference.
In week 2 of previewing Mountain West football, we're going to take a look at the West Division. This consists of 3 programs that are in the midst of rebuilding, as well as 2 teams that are trying to stay atop the conference. The 3 teams focusing on rebuilding are Fresno, Hawaii, and UNLV. The Bulldogs are coming off a season that consisted of the fewest wins for them since 1978. But they have 12 returning starters, including senior cornerback Taekwon Glass, and they've replaced all 3 of their coordinators.
I think overall our kids have had a chip on their shoulder. They realize last year wasn't acceptable and want to do everything they can to make sure it doesn't happen again. I love the work ethic our guys have shown in the offseason. I think they've adapted well to the changes we've made, particularly on offense. And we've had a great offseason, so our guys are chomping the bit to get going. But to see the team really galvanize around a new offensive system has been fun.
At the University of Hawaii, first season head coach Nick Rolovich recognizes that leading his alma mater back to prominence may be something that takes some time.
Change their mindset, change why they play the game, get them to be as unselfish as they can be and play for each other. And on the field goals, we want to eliminate these penalties, which I attribute some to selfishness, and do something about this turnover margin. I mean, those are 2 big reasons why you lose games. We'll have a slower evolution than I think I may have anticipated to where we want to be, as far as a little bit more towards, Coach Jones' style of run and shoot and the excitement, the explosiveness. But we're going to take advantage of every player we can to win football games.
At UNLV for second season head coach Tony Sanchez, the core of the rebuilding year is coming through their 8 early junior college transfers, as well as their 14 returning starters for the season.
Well, the biggest thing is, just we needed to become a bigger and more physical and stronger football team. Part of that was diet, nutrition. We went out and found some of the natural resources we had there, worked with our nutrition department, to come on in and cook for our guys, and, teaching them how to eat healthier. And then Coach Belt just doing a great job of just adding on to that strength and conditioning aspect. So we're bigger, we're carrying more weight, and we're getting faster, and we needed to do that. I think last year you kind of saw we struggled with that a little bit. We were a little undersized.
The 2 teams that are looking to stay atop the conference are Nevada and San Diego State. The Wolfpack is returning 10 starters on offense, including their quarterback, top rusher, top 4 receivers, and all 5 O-line. But the loss of the defensive front 7 is going to be a main focus for them.
We're able to do more because we are veteran. They've played, they understand, and it's not just about the how, it's about the why as well. Older players, okay, this is what you want me to do, but tell me why you want me to do that. And those are fun conversations to engage in. First of all, we have to be self-aware enough to look at the self-inflicted wounds and get them fixed. More games are lost than are won. We've got to stop losing games and make people beat us. And then the other thing is just experience maturity.
San Diego State has 7 starters back on each offense and defense. Of defense, this includes all 3 of their first-team Mountain West players, Donnell Pumphrey, DeMonte Casey, and Rashad Penny. But depth is something that will really need to be improved for them to stay a powerhouse in this division.
Yeah, we have a lot of expectations, but that's not surprising. If those guys won that award last year and they're coming back, I mean, that makes it easy on you guys if you're the ones voting for them. Makes it darn easy. But our team has high expectations because of the way we finished out last year. And it's nice to have preseason expectations, but we'll see how it turns out. Experienced players coming back in almost every spot except for about 3. And we have some guys that played last year in those spots too. So the front liners ought to have a chance to be really good. Now the backups are all young guys that haven't played, so if we have an injury or two, that could change dramatically.
The Spartans conclude regular season play November 26th against Fresno State. But they play 4 straight weeks of West Division opponents starting in week 5 against Hawaii. I'm Amy Lanski with Spartan Sports Report. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Amy. We'll take another break here on Spartan Sports Report. When we come back, Ron Caragher, the San Jose State football head coach, will join us to talk about his team and the upcoming game against Tulsa this weekend. More to come after this.
Honoring all-around excellence in men's and women's collegiate competition. Every division, every sport, the Learfield Directors Cup. The prestigious award continues its reign as the crowning achievement in college athletics. To follow your favorite team, like us on Facebook, find us online and on Twitter. The Learfield Directors Cup.
Spartan wide receiver Tim Crawley has been called undersized. Not strong enough. Not fast enough. Doubt is what drives Tim Crawley, but the lack of doubt is how you build an empire. Secure your tickets today at sjsuspartans.com. Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report, where we're now joined for the first time this year by San Jose State head coach Ron Caragher in his 4th season. Coach, welcome back. Glad to have you back.
It's good to be here, Justin.
It's game week, Coach.
Game
We're going to talk about Tulsa here in a minute, but let's talk about the progression of fall camp coming into the regular season. How do you feel the team ended fall camp in preparation for this year?
I think we ended on a high note. We've had a couple good scrimmages and guys as close as we can to game-like conditions. Where we full tackled, and I thought it went well. I was very encouraged. You know, the start of fall camp back up, it's interesting because you have your returning nucleus, but you also have your newcomers into the program, and it's a fun. It's fun just to see how the team comes together as a unit with the newcomers coming a part of the program. But all in all, it's been a very good fall camp, and I think built a solid foundation for the season.
Last scrimmage that we saw the Spartans in, the Fan Fest Day, there were a couple of Spartans that we figure will be starters for this team that weren't playing. So how is the health of the team coming into this season? Was that just precautionary?
Yeah, some of that was that we didn't want to overdo it. We know what those guys can do. And we want to see other guys, what they can do in a game-like situation. So a lot of that was for that. But I think we did develop some depth. Some of our first-year players in our program are going to play, going to be significant contributors, and we got to see that in scrimmages. And we're going into our first game, I think, with a good 2-deep nucleus, and that's what you want as a coach.
Several new coaches on this staff for you, but I know that a couple of them are getting very high praise from the players when I go and talk to them. Ron English, defensive coordinator, and Barry Sachs. And you and I spoke. Barry Sachs' role was very important. This is a team that needed to improve on the run defense. Yeah. So talk about both those guys, and particularly Barry, and what he's done to better the run defense.
Yeah, definitely. Coach Sachs, I'll start with him. He returning to San Jose State, having been here before, just a really good base of knowledge for sound fundamentals for the defensive line. He's passionate about what he does. He's an outstanding recruiter as well. But I think that what he's implementing, what he's demanding at that position, I think we're seeing some good productivity there. He was, and I started with Coach Sachs because he was the first hire when I was hiring on the defensive staff. Hired Ron English as the defense coordinator, and a big part of that, I've had a lot of respect for Ron over the years. We crossed paths. He was at Arizona State, I was at UCLA. And just watch him from a distance, led a Michigan defense to top 5 ranking in rushing defense, and it's very important to him. It's a priority, and I saw it from day one as the defensive staff gathered and how they installed the defense, that we want to be good against the run. We want to be good overall, but we know that rushing defense can be very problematic for a team, especially over the course of 4 quarters and at the end of the game. Right. So I'm encouraged with what we've seen defensively. We still have some work to do and some players to continue to develop, but it's been a good fall camp.
Gosh, I love the energy from those two guys too, huh?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you can hear Sachs. You could be down on the main campus and hear him yell on the South Campus, I think. But he's very enthusiastic, very energetic.
Well, let's stay on the defensive side just for now. Some starting roles that were open in the fall camp. And I know opening depth chart doesn't necessarily mean those are going to be the guys throughout the course of the year, but they are the opening day starters.
Right.
One of them that maybe Spartan fans aren't really aware of is that third linebacker position in Trayvon Briere. Talk about him and how he earned himself a starting role.
Yeah, Trayvon really came along during spring practice. He's a very talented, instinctive football player. He's a very good open field tackler and came to us as a safety, but we moved him down to the linebacker position and really been productive for us during spring practice and during fall camp. So really excited for him, his first game, his first start as a Spartan, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
I think he, with some other players, there's a lot of youth in both sides of the ball for San Jose State. Jeremy Kelly, Dakari Monroe, also starters on the defensive side, underclassmen, but also players that have some experience.
Oh yeah, no, they've worked hard. I think we have the strong safety position in Jeremy's young, but he's a good, solid football player, and he's coming along. Dakari, I think, is going to have a good career here and very solid player as well. David Williams is another name of guy who's had one of the better fall camps on our defensive team, a strong safety athlete for us. So I really am encouraged with our young football players, particularly our back seven on the defensive side.
And then you go to the offensive side, and the big question mark, of course, the departure of Tyler Irvin. That's already gone. That's in the past now. Who will be the next starting running back for the Spartans? You mentioned it was a committee in the early part of fall camp.
Right.
Do you have that narrowed down right now?
We do, and Deontay Cooper has really stepped up and done a good job. And not that Malik Roberson or Zamor Ziegler haven't; they've done a good job too. But Thomas Tucker was another name in that group, but he had an injury that he's on hold right now from a player standpoint. But back to Deontay, he just really has had a good fall camp from a standpoint of rushing the football. He's a physical, strong runner. He's also got good speed on him. He takes pride in pass protection, and so I think he's been a really good addition to our offensive football team.
Well, you mentioned those three running backs too, and they all seem to have their own different styles as well. So maybe some versatility that we can see out of that position.
Yes, I'd say Zamor is more like Tyler Irvin. He's very fast, probably top 5 fastest players on our team. He's got great speed, great acceleration. And Malik's got probably a combination of the two. He's got some power to him, like Deontay does, but he's also just a all-around back. He's smart. He's good in pass protection. He can catch the ball well out of the backfield. So I think it's a good threesome.
Well, then you go to the wide receiver position, and some names we already know, and Tim Crawley and Justin Holmes. Rashid Johnson on the depth chart, a player we really haven't seen much of outside of what he has done in practice. Talk about him.
Yeah, Rashid came to us as a cornerback last year, a transfer from USC, and just his skills stood out. Very, very fast, quick, he got good acceleration, and very good to have the ball in his hands. And much like early on, putting Tyler Irvin on the offensive side, Rashid, we want the ball in his hands. So he has come along very well, and I'm looking for him to be productive. Bailey Gaithers is another young man that's going to be rotating with Rashid. I think we have 2 good, young, talented flanker players for us, and I'm looking forward to seeing them go.
All right, we'll take a quick break here with Coach Caragher, and we'll talk Tulsa when we come back. More to come after this.
Honoring all-around excellence in men's and women's collegiate competition. Every division, every sport, the Learfield Directors Cup. The prestigious award continues its reign as the crowning achievement in college athletics. To follow your favorite team, like us on Facebook, find us online and on Twitter. The Learfield Directors Cup.
Spartan wide receiver Tim Crawley has been called undersized. Not strong enough. Not fast enough. Doubt is what drives Tim Crawley, but the lack of doubt is how you build an empire. Secure your tickets today at sjsuspartans.com. Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report. We continue to talk with San Jose State head coach Ron Caragher, and now we preview the opener for this season, and it is at Tulsa, and kind of a difference for, at least for you as a head coach and for this program. The team has not played a road game to start off the year since 2012. or an FBS school since 2012 to start off the year. So that kind of a little less margin for error in this first game of the year.
Definitely. It'll be a new experience going on the road. It's nice to start off at home with your first-year players and so forth, but Justin, I feel we do have a veteran team, and most of our guys are familiar with the travel procedure, what that entails, with how we take care of ourselves, how we conduct ourselves when we travel, and so I feel like this should go seamlessly. There are the first-year players. This is the first time they've done that, and so we need to bring them along, but all in all, it'll be a nice road game against a very good football team, bowl team in Tulsa Golden Hurricane.
It's also difficult when you have the first opponent of the year and a game on the road. Every game's must-win game, but you have so much time before the first game of the year. Do you concentrate more on this first opponent, or you try and keep it similar with what you're going to be doing with the rest of the year?
Well, you start a little bit more in advance just because you have that time. Maybe instead of 1 week out, you start out 10 days out. But all in all, during fall camp, during spring, you are implementing sprinkles of what they could see that's new and different that our offense doesn't give to our defense, for example. So I think the coaching staff's done a good job of doing our best to simulate what our players will experience on game day.
So Tulsa, 18 seconds per snap or in between.
Yeah, right.
We're talking a real quick offense.
Oh, we are. I think that's their objective, is to wear down the defense and really run you from sideline to sideline and snap the ball consistently at a very fast pace. I know they're at the end of the season, they finished in the top 15 teams in the country in offensive production, offensive plays, number of snaps. And you can only do that if you do an up-tempo type style and average 80-plus plays a game. So they do a good job at that, and we have to prepare our players. We have to get them conditioned for that type of pace, and I feel like our guys have done a good job doing what we've asked.
Yeah, outside of the obvious for the defense, just the quick tempo, what do you do to prepare the defense? Because if there's no substitution or if there's no other pause, they're going.
Well, we've had 10 to 12 play drives simulating in practice against our defense, not allowing substitutions, and just moving the ball at a rapid pace, and scripting the ball being moved from sideline to sideline down the ball and being snapped within the 20-second range, just so our guys can get the feel for that, how to get lined up, because you can go at such a frantic pace that you can miss a key assignment or so forth, and our guys done a good job.
Well, it's interesting too, because when you prepare for the first opponent of the year, sometimes there's certain wrinkles where you don't know what's coming.
Right.
It seems like this Tulsa team, though, particularly on the offensive side, you do know what's coming, and their quarterback's a very good one, completes a high percentage, throws for big yards, and he's got a core of wide receivers that also can catch the ball.
Right, correct. Having the success they had last year in 2015, and the same returning starter at quarterback, I don't think we're going to see a lot of changes. There will be new wrinkles here and there that they'll do, but for the most part, they're going to do what brought them success in 2015, and so we've been able to study that, but knowing they have good coaches, a good staff, what they did at Baylor when he was at Baylor, what they will continue on at Tulsa, we have to be prepared for a lot of things. They do a good job running the football and passing the ball, and I've just encouraged where our guys are at. We've had a good fall camp, a good base.
Just the second time in their history that they had two 1,000-yard receivers in a single season last year. Pretty good. And they're two seniors now.
Yeah, correct. And they're bringing back a player who missed last year, who as a sophomore was a really good player as well. So they've got some good productivity on the perimeter, and they've got that quarterback who can get the ball to them.
What do you expect from them defensively against the Spartans?
Well, they're very good, very sound up front. They've got 4 down linemen. I think their 2 interior tackles are good. Their linebacker is probably the strength of their defense. 2 veteran senior players who played a lot of snaps for them. They have good athletes in the secondary. They do a good job of combining zone blitzes with your traditional zone coverages and sprinkling in some man coverage. So we have to be aware and we have to be ready for the multiple coverages we'll see, and we've tried to simulate that in practice.
All right, good stuff. That's San Jose State head coach Ron Caragher. Thanks, Coach.
Enjoy
Enjoy week 1.
All right, thank you, Justin. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll take another quick break here on Spartan Sports Report. More to come after this.
We started with the class-leading RX. We gave it paddle shifters to help you command the road, a sport mode to help you control the road, and a sport-tuned suspension to help you connect with the road. The Lexus RX F-Sport. This is the RX Elevated. See your Northern California Lexus dealer.
Playing high school and college basketball taught me the value of teamwork while learning leadership and problem-solving skills. Sports are an excellent way for kids to prepare for the real world, as well as the importance of staying physically fit. I use these skills every day in my job as an officer with the San Jose Police Department. Being a police officer allows me to use what I have learned while serving my community.
View job opportunities and apply at sjpdu.com. That's sjpdyou.com.
Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report. That does it for this week's episode. Once again, San Jose State football, they start the 2016 year on the road at Tulsa this Saturday, September 3rd. Pre-game coverage on 1590 AM KLIV and the Spartan Radio Network will begin at 3:30 with the kickoff scheduled for 4 o'clock Pacific time. Thanks so much for watching this week, and we'll see you next time.